You know what? Put the Concept 1B turret on a patent chassis, and I'll take that. Put it on a Conqueror chassis, and I'll take that too. But why put it on a Chieftain chassis with only 80mm sloped at the hull front and 50 at the hull sides? Comparing that to 120 at the hull sides and sloped 130 at the hull front on a tier 9 heavy tank, not tier 10. The Gryphon FV4201 Chieftain Hybrid with a Concept 1B turret and an inverse auto-reloader of 2 rounds, 120. So dealing 420 alpha in the span of 2.5 seconds twice. So blaze it twice for 840 alpha total. And just go back to reloading as usual of 8 seconds or so. So like with the Russian auto reloaders in a sense, not like the Italians other than the Lion, but high DPM, low health, very good turret, but there's a mushroom vent directly in front of the cupola now. It's not a 𝗚𝗵𝘆𝘆𝗽, not at all. Dramatically weaken the actual turret armor if that's a weak spot. Why the hell do you put this there if that's not a weak spot? Please God no. Please God no. Don't let that be a weak spot. It's a very strong turret, but adding that tumor kills it. It's not exactly killing it, but it just doesn't help. Really doesn't help. So hybrid of a vehicle, but does remind me of a Challenger Falcon. It is still manned in the back, but it is slim of a turret design, futuristic. And the Challenger Falcon is very cool. That thing is super sweet. So yeah, the next best thing than having an actual Chieftain Mark 6 is having a hybrid with a Concept 1B turret. The best tier 9 medium tank in the game. Also possibly the best tier 9 heavy tank too, but Traverse, like a medium tank, has about 20.5 horsepower per ton ratio, which is dramatically insane for 120mm side armor and decent enough hull front, so no weak spot on the turret practically when hauled down. It's amazing. This thing has a mushroom vent right in front of the freaking cupola. God damn it. So mark my word, this mushroom will be a big turnoff for a lot of players coming to this vehicle. But then again, if you're playing like a medium tank, you're not supposed to be taking hits, right? So it's all about the gun. All about dumping 840 alpha damage in the span of 2.5 seconds. And just reloading like normal for 8 seconds for 420 alpha again. So that is the upside to the inverse auto reloader, but the chassis is definitely not as strong. So we'll have to see with the actual vehicle model, but mushroom on the turret, chassis not the strongest, 420 alpha, high pin for default APCR, and gold APCR is also faster. It's not a HESH round, unfortunately. Doesn't have 100mm of pen, only 60, so normal high explosive. That's not fun. But then again, if it's like 120mm pen for high explosive squash head, that might be pretty good for 2-round burst, right? Nah. First round is actually 8.6 seconds. Second round is about 16, so total about 25-27 seconds for 2 rounds. But you can fire like normal afterwards. So 2.5 seconds between the shots, 2 rounds in the clip. Aim time is 2.5. Accuracy is kind of 0.38. 10 degrees gun depression, 20 elevation, 40 rounds. Not that much ammo when you think about it. It says 16 or 17. I took a look at the actual screenshot. Why the hell does it say 21.1? That's dramatically better than 16 or 17. 43 km/h top speed. 15 reverse. Hull traverse, turret traverse. Fat medium tank, but it's a heavy. It is lowest health of tier 10 heavy tanks, along with AMX-50B. Doesn't have health, only 80 at the hull front, 60 at the hull sides, 250 at the turret front, but 400 meters of view range and 750 radio. It's not 21. It's only 17. Typos, man. That's a dramatically big difference. 17 compared to 21 is a huge difference. God, nobody corrects themselves with the actual typo, but actual accuracy with 100% crew is alright, 0.36. Aim time could be a little bit better, right? 2.4. But DPM is pretty much the same as with the Mark 6 Chieftain, except you have the 2-round capability of the burst, so 840 alpha averaging. But health is low, hull armor is suck. There's a mushroom tumor on the turret. Does weigh about 50-ish tons. Camo, heavy tank. It's also kind of worse than actual versatile heavy. Usually it's about 6%, but that doesn't matter much. 400 meters of view range. Above standard radio, but that's fine. So basically, a Chieftain Mark 6 without having the actual Chieftain Mark 6, right? It's all about the gun on this vehicle. The armor is not that great. DPM wise, yeah, it's about the same DPM, but not as good handling. And longer aim time, almost twice as long. Crazy. But yeah, it's like this vehicle practically. Just the tumor. Also the hull is practically the same, 85 sloped at the hull front. It's about 170-ish millimeters effective. 170-ish. You can pin it with tier 7s. Bottom plate can pin it with tier 5s. Tumor of a cupola. Turret front is strong, but otherwise, yeah, there are lots of weak spots on this vehicle. Hull size is nothing, 50. I think it's also like 30, if I remember correctly. Yep, 38. With 6mm space armor and tracks covering the hull sides, but it's only 38. That is nothing. It's 85 on the upper parts of the hull armor, but it's nothing. So not exactly 120 on the actual concept 1B. So pretty much that vehicle with a gimmick, right? So we'll have to see the actual horsepower per ton ratio, but it's a little bit better. The Chieftain is like 12 horsepower per ton ratio. 13, never mind, 13.6. Still not that crazy, right? This thing is supposedly 21, but now 17. So yeah, okay. Still more interesting than a Vickers Mark III main battle tank. That thing is boring. It's all about the gun. The gun's fine, but there's nothing cool about it, right? Just a bland, I have a good L7, go to work, right? Just whatever. So in the world of this vehicle, along with a MBTB constantly being revised, right? For autoreloader, whatever, but we'll have to see what the next assembly shop vehicle is. It is obviously possible for DBV, but yeah, the second part of this year for assembly shop, this could be possibly it instead of the MBTB, which might be interesting at least. But shell velocity is okay. Why is it AP instead of APCR? Oh, come on guys, why are there so many typos recently? It's APCR normally, now it's AP with less shell velocity. Yeah, it's AP now with less shell velocity. Gold is about the same. High explosive is high explosive. 120mm, 2-round, auto-reloader. L11. It does make the bonds, yada yada. I don't know how I feel about this. The mushroom vent on top is giving me a bad feel about being weak on the turret. Also, the hull armor is not that good, right? It's all about the gun. It's all about being a medium tank. it's a little bit worse in terms of health, comparing it to a breakthrough heavy, like a 5A or 277. Yeah, those doesn't have that much health at tier 10. So heavy tanks, versatile usually have like 2,400, 2,300 with stuff like the Super Conquer, with the E5. Those have a little bit more health, but not as crazy as with the Assault. This thing has, well, AMX M4 is chunky, but I have vents, or not vents. I've improved hardening instead of vents on most of these vehicles. Yeah, it's about this health with actual vents. So 2,200 or so. This thing has less, 2,100, but does the gun carry this vehicle? Put it on a Conquer chassis, lower the horsepower per turn ratio, and remove the mushroom tumor. It will be dramatically better, but no, you're playing like a medium tank. So, yeah, how the hell do I feel about this? Well, let's talk equipments. So versatile, heavy, but obviously the same with stuff like the VZ55 or some of the Italian heavy tanks, like the Riceroni, the Rinoceronte, or the autoreloader. But vents, vertical stabilizer, and turbocharger. You possibly would want, well, you don't have that much health to be playing around with the improved hardening, so might as well go with vents to help out with the aim time and the accuracy. So yeah, this thing doesn't have the health too. 2,000 health. Oh, never mind. I thought it was the AMX50B. No, it's a Rinoceronte. Rinoceronte sucks. This thing needs a buff. It really does need a buff. DPM sucks too on this thing. Holy crap. The turret is not that strong too. Has a little trapezoid weak spot in the middle of the turret as well. So it's also about the same mobility with about 17 horsepower per turn ratio. So at least the gun does perform a hell of a lot better than the auto-reloader on the Rinoceronte. So 1,000 more DPM is dramatically better. Dispersion with this vehicle while moving sucks. I remember that. That's why you need vertical stabilizer. So for the Gryphon, I would say turbocharger, vertical stabilizer, vents. So you could swap out the vents for improved hardening, but you don't get as much HP from it as with a mouse or E100 for that matter. But yeah, this is a support, not a versatile. So versatile heavy tanks have different field mods, but first one is track health or terrain resistance. Can make it a little bit faster, go faster. Get your tracks blown off, have practicality with your commander, repair skill or repair, as well as the repair kits. Yeah, better mobility. Accuracy or aim time. Ooh. It's 2.5 seconds between each shot. You could take a little bit longer for better accuracy, but both are not really that good for dumping shells unless you're close range. I would say accuracy. 0.36 is not screaming home as good, right? So give it better accuracy. View range or stun duration. Sometimes there are no artillery. Sometimes they're fast enough to outrun the artillery shells. View range. Definitely more view range. Reverse speed or traverse speed. Fast enough traverse for a fat medium tank. Go with better reverse speed. Yeah, better reverse along with turbocharger. Yeah, go backwards faster from playing as a gopher. Haul down tactics, poking up, poking back down, haul down, yada yada. Better reverse speed. And finally, hull protection, HE protection, or dispersion during traverse and moving. You already have vertical stabilizer, so better protection for your crew. Yeah, better protection. But, oh god. If it's only the actual Concept 1B turret, without the tumor, possibly a 6 because of the gun. The gun carries the actual chassis. The chassis is not screaming much. It's not doing much for me. If it's 21.1 horsepower to ton ratio, That's also pretty good. But it's 17 with the actual in-game garage screenshot, so I don't know which one to believe for now. But this hull armor needs to be buffed to like at least 120 sloped. And at least 80 at the sides. So armor's not great on the chassis. Turret remains to be proven with the tumor. It's all about the gun. If the gun has 0.32 accuracy instead of 3.6 and about 2.1 seconds of aim time, I would say the gun's very good. But now it's kind of wonky. You're playing around with the aim time and the actual base accuracy, right? If the dispersion while traversing the actual turret or the hull sucks, then your double shot goes out the window. So sometimes you don't even hit the actual weak spots. But at least the base pin is pretty high. And the alpha damage is fine. Oh god. Concept 1B is the best tier 9. No question. If you have the bonds, if you have silver ranking in Onslaught, get it. Right? Just get it. It's no question. But this thing, why the hell do you put a freaking mushroom on the actual turret? Killing the entire vehicle. Oh god. I would say for a medium tank, instead of a heavy playstyle, this is very scary of a medium tank. It's not that scary of a heavy. If this thing has like 2,500 health, maybe. But, or at least better hull armor, better hull size too. It's like a 6. I don't want to give it too high because of the aim time, the accuracy, the actual armor. It's like a 6, right? If it has better armor, if it has better hull, and no mushroom, and 21 horsepower per ton ratio, immediately jump up to like 7.5. No question about it. If the hull armor is like 250mm effective on the hull front, no question, 7. Concept 1B is a 9. At least 8.5 out of 10 on my scale. It's crazy. The thought of that vehicle just scares tier 7s. Like nothing. Tier 7s have no way to compete with this thing. No freaking way. You're playing a Tiger 1, a KV3, a freaking Black Prince against this thing, you're dead. This thing is fast. Without a turbocharger, it already has 20.66 horsepower per ton ratio and about 50 km per hour top speed with field mods. Without the turbocharger, this thing is nuts. This thing is dramatically outperforming any other tier 9s. A Rambo, M103, pff, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. No. So, if this was a premium, it's a 10 out of 10. No question. You're taking so much away from this vehicle and focusing on the auto-reloader. So, it must be very good of an auto-reloader to have a crappy hull, lower horsepower per ton ratio, and the mushroom tumor on top. So it's a 6 for now, I guess. We'll have to see. But as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Guess we'll have to wait for the actual common test to see the actual horsepower per ton and the actual armor. But for now, 6. Yeah, put it on the patent chassis. I'll take the patent chassis. Fine. Put it on a Conqueror chassis. That's also fine. Slow it down, but at least remove the freaking mushroom on top. So, we'll have to see. But as always, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.